I think when we speak about gender, peace and security, and if we think in the context of conflict, for example, we don't think of art and culture in that context. That doesn't usually come to mind. So art and culture usually is associated with times of peace, with closed-door galleries, with that 1% of the art that we see in the art world. But that's really not necessarily the only art. There is the art that exists in times of conflict, and the art that people need actually to survive. The artists, for example, and people who work on culture is very, very important in times of conflict for many reasons. One of which is, of course, it's a way of expression, and they're sometimes the only way that they can express themselves. And we see this a lot with women who have undergone a lot of violence, and that's their only way of, or they are able to express themselves, whether it's through writing their stories, whether it's through writing songs, poetry in some parts of the world, sometimes with their name, sometimes unknown, anonymous. And this gives them kind of agency, gives them power. In the case of Yemen, that's undergoing current conflict, current war, art actually, the art scene has thrived, and a lot of people, are surprised when I say this, but we see new art spaces actually opening up. That gives space for people to come and create, to showcase their work, and to debate the topic. And it also has allowed people to push taboos a little bit, cultural taboos. We also see an increase in street art, where just merely by taking over certain public spaces, people are saying, this is our right, this is what we want to discuss, this is what we think is important in our community. Culture is very important in how we respond to violence, or how violence begins. And changing culture is it's not something that can happen, of course, overnight, right? Something that builds up with time. And culture is made up of narratives, of forms that we decide on, we have decided on, we have passed on. And changing that will require definitely an artistic movement to slowly begin to change the stories we have told ourselves over centuries, and replacing them with stories that are promoting peace and promoting dialogue. And that's where the power of art lies.